Here is something most folks never hear. The firmness of your skin has less to do with what you rub on top of it, and far more to do with what is happening just underneath. That is the plain truth, and once you understand it, half the expensive shelf at the drugstore stops making sense. I have spent years paying attention to skin and to what actually holds up over time versus what only looks good in a jar. I have watched folks spend a small fortune on creams that promise to lift and tighten, and I have watched those same folks quietly go back to the simple oils their grandmothers kept in the pantry. There is a reason for that. The simple thing works, and the fancy thing usually does not. I will be honest with you. Most of what you have been told about firming loose skin is either half a truth or a full waste of money. Let me name a couple of the myths right up front. The first is that a cream can lift sagging skin. It cannot. Skin sags because the deeper layer, the one that gives it bounce, has lost strength and moisture. A lotion that sits on the surface cannot climb down there and rebuild anything. The second myth is that you need a machine, a device, or a monthly subscription to see a difference. That is marketing, plain and simple. The careful old way, a good oil, warm hands, and steady daily habit, has been quietly outperforming the shiny gadgets for a very long time. I keep coming back to that, because I have seen it hold true again and again. So here is what I want to do for you today. I am going to walk you through the one oil remedy the Amish and other plain folks have leaned on for generations to firm loose skin naturally. I will tell you what the oil is, why it works on the actual biology of your face and neck, exactly how to prepare it, exactly how to apply it, how often, and what to expect week by week. By the end of this video, you will know how to firm your skin at home for pennies a day, and you will walk past the anti-aging aisle without a second thought. If you want the longer written version, with the measurements and the schedule laid out on one page, it is in the description. I will not bring it up again. Now, the oil at the heart of this remedy is castor oil, blended with a warming carrier, usually olive oil, sometimes sweet almond. Castor oil on its own is thick, almost sticky, and it does not spread well. But when you cut it with a lighter oil, something remarkable happens. It becomes glidable, it sinks in beautifully, and it carries a compound called ricinoleic acid deep enough to matter. Ricinoleic acid makes up roughly 90% of castor oil by composition, and researchers studying it at institutions like the University of Illinois as far back as the 1990s noted its unusually deep penetration compared to most plant-based oils. In my experience, that blend is the quiet workhorse behind every firming result I have ever seen from a home remedy. Plain folks did not know the chemistry, they just knew it worked, and they passed it down. Here is why it works, in plain words. The skin on your face, your neck, and the backs of your hands loses firmness for 3 reasons as the years go on. It loses collagen, which is the scaffolding, it loses elastin, which is the spring, and it loses water, which is the plumpness. Starting around age 25, the body produces roughly 1% less collagen per year, which means by the time most people notice visible sagging in their 40s or 50s, they have already lost somewhere between 15 and 25% of what they started with. Most creams try to fake the third by trapping moisture on the surface for a few hours. Castor oil, blended and warmed and worked in properly, does something different. It penetrates, it supports the barrier so your skin holds its own moisture, and the daily massage that goes with it, and this is the part almost everyone skips, stimulates blood flow to the deeper layer where the scaffolding lives. That combination is the whole game. The oil feeds it, the massage wakes it up, and time does the rest. Let me tell you exactly how to make the blend, because the details matter, and this is where folks go wrong. You want a small glass bottle, dark if you have one, about 2 ounces. Fill it 1 part castor oil to 2 parts olive oil. If you have never used castor oil on your face, start with 1 part castor to 3 parts olive for the first 2 weeks, and let your skin get used to it. Shake it well. That is the whole recipe. No essential oils, no fragrance, no additives. Fragrance is where irritation hides, and irritation is the enemy of firming. You want calm, well-fed skin, not skin that is fighting a perfume. Cost-wise, let me lay it out the way a careful neighbor would. A bottle of good castor oil runs you around $10 to $15 and lasts months. A bottle of decent olive oil you likely already own, Compare that to a single jar of firming cream, which can run you $60, $80, sometimes over $100, and gives you maybe 6 weeks of use. A 2023 market analysis by Statista put the global anti-aging skincare market at over $60 billion annually. That is 60 billion reasons why no one with a financial stake in that industry is going to point you toward a $10 bottle of castor oil. The math is not close. This remedy pays for itself the first week and keeps paying you back every week after. There is no money in teaching folks the simple thing that actually works, which is exactly why you rarely hear about it. Now, application. This is where the real work happens, and I want you to slow down here because the technique is doing half the job. At night, after you have washed your face with plain warm water, no harsh cleanser, just water and a soft cloth, take about a dime-sized amount of the blend into your palm. Rub your palms together for a good 10 seconds to warm the oil. Warm oil sinks in, cold oil sits on top. That one small step makes a real difference. Then press your palms gently to your cheeks, your forehead, your neck, and the underside of your jaw. Do not rub yet, just press and hold for a slow count of 5. You are letting the oil begin to melt into the skin. Then comes the massage, and this is the part I would do first if I were starting over. Using the pads of your middle and ring fingers, never your fingertips, they are too pointed. Sweep upward and outward in slow, firm strokes. Start at your collarbones and stroke up the sides of your neck to your jaw. 10 strokes on each side. Then from your jawline, sweep up along your cheeks toward your temples. 10 more. Then from the corners of your mouth up toward your ears. From the sides of your nose out across your cheekbones. From your brows up into your hairline. Every stroke goes up and out, never down and in. Gravity has been pulling your skin down for decades. Your hands are going to spend 5 minutes a night pulling it back the other way. The whole routine takes about 5 to 7 minutes, not 15, not 30. 5 to 7. Do it every night before bed, and leave the oil on while you sleep. Put an old pillowcase on if you are worried about your good linens. That is a small thing folks forget to mention, and it saves a lot of grief. In the morning, rinse with warm water. That is all. Here is something I want you to hold on to, because it is the one common mistake that quietly undoes all of this. Folks start strong, do it every night for a week, see a little glow, and then drift to every third night, then once a week, then they forget. Firming skin is not a sprint. It is a slow, steady rebuild. The daily rhythm is what triggers your skin to respond. Miss 2 or 3 nights and you have not ruined anything, but the results you were building start to fade. I will be honest with you, the folks I have seen get real, visible firming from this remedy are the ones who treat those 5 minutes the way they treat brushing their teeth. Non-negotiable, every night. Let me tell you what to expect, and I am going to be straight with you, because I do not believe in over-promising. The first week, your skin will feel softer and look a little brighter in the morning. That is the barrier repairing and the moisture returning. Weeks 2 and 3, you will notice your skin looks less crepey, especially on your neck and the backs of your hands, if you extend the routine down there. Around week 4 to 6 is when the firming itself starts to show. A subtle lift along the jawline, fine lines looking softer, a general sense that your skin is holding itself better. By 3 months of steady nightly use, folks around you start to notice without being able to say why. That is exactly what you want. Not a dramatic overnight change that screams for attention, but a quiet, cumulative return to firmness that just looks like you, rested. A few honest cautions, because I would rather you know now than write me later. If you have very oily or acne-prone skin, do a patch test on the inside of your wrist for 3 nights before you put this on your face. Castor oil is generally very well tolerated, but every skin is its own thing. Keep the oil well away from your eyes, not because it will hurt them, but because it will blur your vision for hours. And if you are on any prescription skin treatment from a doctor, ask them before you add this in. Common sense, the same you would use with anything new. Before I wrap up, I want to invite you into the community here on the channel. If this is the kind of plain, honest, old way approach you appreciate, subscribing costs you nothing, and it means I can keep making these for you. And if you have a question about your own skin, about adjusting this for sensitive skin, about extending it to your hands or your décolletage, leave it in the comments. I read them, and I answer the ones I can. So let me pull this all together. Loose skin firms from underneath, not from the top. A simple blend of castor oil and olive oil, warmed in your palms and worked in with slow upward strokes for 5 to 7 minutes every night, does more for real firmness than almost anything you can buy in a bottle. It costs pennies a day. It has been quietly used by careful folks for generations, long before the anti-aging industry existed. And the reason you have not heard about it is the same reason you have not heard about a lot of things that work. Nobody makes a profit teaching it. Here is your plan. This week, buy the castor oil, mix the blend, and start the nightly routine at the gentler ratio. This month, work up to the full 1:2 ratio and stay consistent every single night. By the end of 3 months, take a photo of yourself in the same light as the one you took today and compare. That is your proof, on your own face, for the cost of a sandwich. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me about a remedy your mother or grandmother used, the kind that got quietly handed down and just worked. Those stories are the whole reason this channel exists. And if you found this useful, my next video walks through the plain water washing method the Amish have used for generations, and why it may be the single best thing you can do for aging skin. Take care of yourselves, take your time, and I will see you in the next one.